The 5.7 by 28. When thinking of modern futuristic handgun cartridges, this is usually the first one that comes to mind. Originally developed in the early 90s as a NATO request for replacing the 9mm, it was originally developed for the FN P90 submachine gun and the 5.7 series of handguns, kind of gaining a mythical status here in the civilian world because of its supposed armor penetrating capabilities with certain rounds and the general cost associated with shooting this thing and getting into owning one of the civilian P90s or the FN 5.7 variants of handguns. In recent years, we have seen the introduction of new handguns in this caliber that are priced a little bit more reasonably than the 5.7, such as the Smith & Wesson, the PSA Rock, and the Ruger 5.7 pistol.
And oh my God, don't even get me started on this thing.
But there is a new pistol that's only been out for about a year now that I want to show you guys here today. Oh boy, the Turks have been working their weird space magic again. Remember, if you rack it more than 3 times, you're playing with yourself, and that's okay. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Adam, aka the Hot and Fuzzy, and today we're going to be talking about the Tisas PX-5.7. Tisas PX-5.7 is a pretty interesting pistol. This is actually, I believe, the first Turkish-made 5.7 pistol on the American market. These things came out in early 2024, and they started out kind of on the higher end, but they've gotten a little bit cheaper as time has went on. And that's kind of what has put this on my radar, because this thing is very competitively priced when you look at it, especially compared to things like the FN 5.7, the Ruger 5.7. The only other really one that this really compares to, in my opinion, is the PSA Rock. And you can get it in a couple of different models right now. There's just the standard model, which is what this one is, just has a glow front sight on it and a standard rear sight. Has a pretty good trigger on it, just standard stippling, 20 round magazine standard. But there is a second model that's also tapped for RMR and has a plate on top. So you do have that option. But I kind of wanted to test one of these out. I've had my eye on one of these. I picked this one up used, really cheap, and I've just kind of really wanted to test one of these out because this one specifically, the PX-5.7, with all of their weird Turkish space magic, to me with the design, and if you look at the mechanics of it, it's actually the one that is the most similar to me to the actual FN 5.7. And if you look at the way it looks and everything and the way the action is designed, it's really similar. It's striker fired. I think it actually has a better trigger, in my opinion, than the real 5.7. But we're gonna give it a shot today, test this thing out with a few different targets. This is actually the first 5.7 pistol I've owned, so you're gonna kind of get my first initial impression. We've only fired about 20 rounds out of this thing, testing it out and making the short for the video. So we've kind of just been playing with it a little bit. So you're gonna kind of get my live feed so far. But up first, I'm just gonna fire a 5-round group. As you guys know, I always do a group in all my videos on the handguns. So let's fire 5 rounds. This is some of the FN loads. That's where the ammo we're gonna be firing today is actual FN ammunition. This is the FN SS201 full metal jacket. So just standard full metal jacket loads. Apparently these things are pretty nasty, apparently by themselves. So we'll do a 5-round group here. Oh, the trigger is sweet on this thing. It's really sweet. 5.7 is a really loud cartridge, but there's not much recoil. Recoil is really mild on that. I can do my part. Target there. So take a look, see how we did. Okay, so the thing locked open and functioned flawlessly. As you can see, we got them all here on the target. I got 3 here in a line, 1 little flyer here, and then 1 directly on the center there. So it looks like it is shooting maybe potentially a little low and left, but to me, that's pretty good. I'm not the best handgun shot in the world. For my first time grouping the gun from 10 yards, I'll take that. So enough of that. let's move on to something fun. Let's do some actual ballistics testing with this thing. Oh boy, I've been excited to do this one for a long time. Woo! All right, thanks to you guys, the viewers, and I really genuinely appreciate all of your guys' views. So hit that subscribe button so we can do more cool stuff like this. We can get more cool stuff for the channel, because stuff like this isn't cheap. Now guys, like, I know I normally do a sponsor segment for myself in our videos, but like, I just kind of wanted to use this as an opportunity to just thank you guys for all the views this past year. We just surpassed 8,000 subs, and I genuinely really appreciate you guys. It's been a real treat to be able to do this and finally be able to afford to do and get cool things like this for the channel for you guys. I've been wanting to review this gun for a long time. I've always wanted to play with ballistic gel and cool things like the FN5.7 cartridge and stuff like that. So I really do genuinely appreciate this, guys. So enough talking. Let's test out this cartridge. All right, first ballistic test on the channel. First up is the 40 grain SS197 load by FN. This is a VMAX load, blue tip, pretty common personal defense load. So I just kind of want to see what this does in ballistic gel, kind of for myself. I'm not sure if it'll go through the block or what. So let's give this a shot. Just gonna aim for the middle here. Try to get as lined up as I could. Here we go. Wow. See our polymer tip in there? Let's check that out. Yeah, that's the first couple of inches. It expanded there, traveled up to about the 15 inch mark, and there it has retained most of its mass at the end there. So that's pretty cool. Let's try a full metal jacket, see what that does. All right, just for shits and giggles here, I want to try one of the SS201 rounds, the full metal jacket, because I've always heard that these create a wound cavity. So we'll just give that a shot here real quick. I'm gonna aim lower than that one, get down here. Wow. Those things make a tiny hole. All right, I just kind of want to compare this to something more common. We're gonna shoot the Glock 17 at it with Hornady 124 grain critical defense, just because I figure this is more of a budget-minded 5.7 pistol, and it being probably more than likely somebody's first pistol in 5.7 like it was mine, I just kind of, for myself and maybe for some other viewers, want to see how this compares myself to something like Hornady critical defense, which is something much more common people use for defense. So let's give this a shot here. I'm going to aim up a little bit higher. Here we go. Cool. And just because it's an internet myth that 22 Magnum is just as good as 5.7, we're going to test that out here today. We got one of these little North American Arms 22 Magnum revolvers, got a Hornady critical defense 22 Magnum in here. These things are terrifyingly hot out of this thing. So I'm going to aim to the right here and see how this goes. Oh.
Look, I know I might be squirreling out here a little bit with all this ballistic testing, but I feel like for most people, the PX-5.7 is more than likely going to be one of their first handguns in 5.7, being as the price point that it is. And for me personally, not having fired 5.7 much, being able to do this ballistic testing and be able to compare it to a couple of different other really common cartridges, I think is pretty relative information to share.
Okay, so that was really fun getting to test all those different rounds out on this block here. As you can see with our comparison here, our most penetration, I think, and performance came probably from that 9mm. The 9mm had good expansion and it traveled all the way through the block, and it had a really good wound channel there. But the 5.7 40 grain SS197 had really good extreme expansion here. It looks like it almost like flashed inside or something, because we have some burn markings in there. Lost our tip off, but it looks like most of the bullet actually retained together, deviated it up a little bit, and stopped just shy of the end of the block at like the 14 inch mark. And then we compared that also to the Full Metal Jacket round, just because I've always heard that 5.7 Full Metal Jacket will tumble and actually cause a wound channel, and which we actually saw that it did. Going through there, it caused a small wound channel, about half the size of the VMAX. If I was going to carry one of these inside of a 5.7, I would definitely go with that VMAX round as a civilian for civilian use, because it isn't like we're going to be going against armor every day anyway. Okay, and the last round I fired at it just to see, because I've always heard on the internet, and you hear these dumb talks of people, I think mainly people that just don't have the experience and haven't shot the rounds as much. People say that 5.7 can be comparable to 22 Magnum, and I think it can be potentially out of a rifle when it comes to some of the Full Metal Jacket loads. Like if you compare a 22 Magnum out of a rifle to a 5.7 Full Metal Jacket load out of a pistol, maybe. But when we're just comparing normal loads here, you see a big difference here in the performance of our hollow point and that VMAX in the 5.7 versus that VMAX or the Hornady critical defense. Because that Hornady critical defense came in, caused a very small wound channel, a few inches long, and it deviated down, bounced off the table, and then lodged itself about 1/8 of an inch back up in the gel backwards. And we did get expansion on it, but that's nowhere near really what the 5.7 or really the 9mm was performing at. But that's enough science for now. Like, that's all cool and all whatnot, but what we do best here in Kentucky is break stuff and tear stuff up. So let's just see what kind of barriers and stuff this thing will go through. I have to say, that is a very smooth shooting pistol. And the trigger on this thing is excellent. It can't be more than a few pounds. And it has this really nice take up, and it's straight wall. And man, that thing is just so crisp. Took me a little bit of getting used to shooting this thing, but very nice trigger on this thing. I was able to very easily just get hits at 50 yards on our steel. That's awesome. We must protect the orange at all costs. This stuff is really good, actually. I can't bring myself to waste all of it. That's pretty good for $1. There ain't much around that is still $1 that's pretty good. All right, buddy, survive. I got you. All right, let's aim at the side of this table, see if these things will live. Okay, so I got 3 of the SS201 FMJs and then 3 of the SS197 blue tip VMAXs. Let's see if these things will go through some light cover. Come on, Orange Jet, live. Oh man. Okay, so the mountain lightning is gone, but I don't care about that. Oh, he survived. Oh no. Ah, he's bleeding on my face. This microwave has been sitting back there in the background of way too many videos. We were shooting back here a while back, and a stray round from an AK went through it and busted the front out. So I figured this would be a good simulation of light cover. Let's throw a 2-liter behind this thing and just see what the 5.7 round will do going through this. We're just gonna go with our Full Metal Jacket here, our SS201s, FN loads. Let's go. Oh! Oh, yeah! There's no recoil on that thing. That is awesome. It being such a large handgun, I have to say, it's very long and wide. It has a grip stance and grip angle a lot like a 1911, and the stippling and everything makes it really good. It has stippling up here, which makes it really natural for you to want to put your finger up here when you rest it. I really like the recoil impulse and the way the gun feels when you shoot it. But I think we messed up that 2-liter. I don't think that the microwave was any resistance. Ready?
I got the moaning in there for you too.
Oh! All right, how about some Play-Doh? That's like redneck ballistic gel. I'll put some of them 40 grain VMAXs in here. This is 197 once again. Let's see what these do to Play-Doh. Whoa, okay, got that one. Yeah, that one was a little bit more dramatic. It expanded right in the middle of that Play-Doh. Oh, it still smells good. Ah, salty! All right, so the last thing I'm gonna try with this PX-5.7, we're just gonna shoot some silly strings, see what these FMJs do. Let's have a little fun. Wow, that was cool. Oh, man! Oh, man! I've had mornings like that. Oh, it stinks! Oh! Yeah, the purple one we got ripped off on. That was great. The PX-5.7 is a really cool handgun. You guys, my final thoughts on this thing, I really do actually like it for the price. These things right now MSRP for around $350 and a little bit more for the one with the MOS cut. I think that they may be introducing a threaded barrel model in the future, but you got the standard 20 round mags. There are, little issues, like the mags are hard to find, and, like with most Turkish guns, it being new, who knows how the longevity is going to be. But from what I can tell, it seems to be built fairly well. I do actually really like these things. We haven't had any malfunctions out of it here today, besides when I was filming the short, I did limp wrist it because I was kind of holding it loosely because I was trying to balance with my phone and everything. My bad. But it's really smooth shooting handgun. It has a great trigger. I really like the way it shoots. The recoil impulse is really nice on it. The sights are nice, easy to adjust. I genuinely like the gun for the price. If you're wanting to get into 5.7, I think this is a genuinely solid option. I haven't ever shot one of the PSA rocks, and I'd love to get one of those on here in the future because to me they feel more Glock-like. To me, this is a lot more like just a genuine copy of the FN 5.7 itself. So, but I really genuinely appreciate you guys watching today. Give us a subscribe, like down below. Throw a comment down below. Tell me what is your favorite 5.7 pistol or just 5.7 firearm in general. And what do you think of 5.7? Is it a viable self-defense cartridge? I want to know, so put it down in the comment section down below. Until next time, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad.